Hey, Shalom, Kahala Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Waha, Rachak Wadash, double honors to the apostles, bishops and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, pushing his word and truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. This is Amathia from Great Millstone, Dallas. And I wanted to go into this article here on End Time Headline News. And it is actually the spirit. I actually listened to the brother Oswald, whose page is Psalms of Thought 144. He did the lesson this morning on how the devil should cast some of you into prison, and the spirit, because I actually looked at this here on yesterday, and I read where it says in this article that came out on January 31st that ICE purchases 400,000 square foot warehouse facility in Arizona for $70 million. Okay. When you look at what's going on in America and around the world, you're seeing all these things that are happening. You should know the times we're in. We're actually in the last days. We're actually at the finish line before the kingdom of heaven. This downfall of this society, this rulership, it is all up for the Lord that has gave his angels to move forward, to cause the work in these kings' minds, to work in these people's minds, to make things happen, for we can see the signs and wonders in heaven and also within the society of these people and how they're interacting with one another. The Lord has gave us this eyesight to know what's happening in these last days. All right. And with this thing going on with ICE, also, you had a disease X that's moving. That's seemed like it's here, but it's just looking to spread. If people have that microwave memory, that short term memory on things that happen in the world. Remember, the Ovid happened, and it started off where people was kind of joking about it, doing videos and joking, and then it became a real thing. Now we're seeing earthquakes happen and all the rioting of the people. It's only going to get worse here. So listen to the brother's video this morning. We have to be spiritually ready for what's about to happen. We have to be spiritually ready for what's about to happen. That means we have to have Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah on our sides. Okay? We shouldn't worry about the world, what the world think of us, because the world don't love us. The world don't love us. Okay? You may have relatives, your family members that you feel like you're close to. Hey, what it says in Matthew 10, because this is what's about to happen here. This is Matthew 10 and 34. And it reads, "Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. And the sword comes to do what? To maim, and also it divides, and also to unalive, okay, to cut, all right, to separate, okay." Verse 35, "For I come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the mother-in-law against her mother, and the daughter against Slakia." I'm going to read that again. I come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foe shall be their own household. See, so the Lord is causing division within the household, within neighbors, within friends, within the people and the government, all this division that is happening. But one thing they're going to do, they're going to hate you. And I'm talking about you Israelite, the elect, okay? The ones that know who you are. They know, because like I say, if you've been pushing Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you're going to have some family members that's going to know what you're about. And the first thing that's gonna be on their spirit when these things start happening and persecution is going on, they're gonna try to get the light in that persecution off them. Because the whole nation of Israel is finna see the smackdown that Esau is getting ready to do. Okay, as it says in Revelations 12 and 12, he's coming with great wrath, knowing, but he got a short time. And also, this is the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, not just the elect, but all of Israel finna feel this wrath that the Lord is finna let loose through this devil. Okay, so I'm gonna read here. It says ICE purchases 400,000 square foot warehouse facility in Arizona for $70 million. That's a lot. So you know they're not gonna purchase this just to sit there and let it sit there to store something for $700 million. So it says according to a report by AZ Family based on Maricopa County property records, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has quietly purchased a massive industrial facility in Surprise, Arizona for over $70 million. Now, do you think this is the only one that's been purchased? When you look around the Dallas Fort Worth area, which they call the DFW area, the Metroplex, you see a lot of buildings that have been built, put up, and you really sometimes you don't see. They're just empty buildings, but they're massive. You know, I know it's something that's on where is that 35 like that, 35 and 635. When you get on off of 635 here in the Dallas area, and then you come down 35. You have some big, massive buildings that have been built, but they just sitting there. So you wonder, why are these things been built? You got to think Esau agenda it stands far out. You cannot underestimate this man's wickedness. All right, keep going. It says the 413,000 square foot warehouse located near Sweetwater Avenue and Dysart Road was acquired in an all-cash transaction by the Department of Homeland Security on January 23rd, 2026, catching local officials and residents completely off guard. All right. It says the sheer scale of the acquisition has raised immediate alarms in the West Valley community. The facility, described as being roughly the size of 7 football fields, was originally marketed as a commercial distribution center. However, shortly after the purchase was uncovered, ICE officials confirmed plans to convert the site into a processing and detention center compatible of holding approximately 1,500 detainees. So it may have been looking to do like a blackout site so they can go and take people in and detain them and things like that. But I guess it's been unraveled for people to know, so they're letting you know, hey, well, this is what we're gonna do, okay? Because this man's he's been uncovered. You're seeing who he truly is, and you be like, well, it's all the different ones in ICE. No, who runs the world? Who runs America? You got to look and see who the elites are. You got to look and see who controls everything. This is the so-called white men, the ones who you ignorantly call white, who are truly the Edomites. All right, and like I said, it's not just about color, but when you look at the heads, yes, they are Edomites. Because when you look at the elites, they try to stay within their bloodline or within those royal families and marry one another and all these different things. So yeah, so you get my point here, you know. So you can keep reading this article. As mentioned, it is on End Time Headline News, you know. And the reason I was reading it, because it's not just going to be Jake that's going to be detained and thrown in there. They're going to be just going after, they're going to be like madmen, you know. But the hell with it, like the Isaiah 40 and 15, the Lord said these other nations are nothing. Also in 2nd Ezra 6, around the 53rd or 56th verse, said the other nations are nothing. So we're only concerned about Israel. And in these times, we're only concerned about the elect of Israel. Okay? And we knowing that that's who one of the main that Esau is looking for. Okay? As actually says, Revelations 2 and 10, you know, They may cast some of them into prison. We just have to have that covering Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? So that's why we have to deny this world and take up our crosses. You know what? I'm going to get that. This is Matthew 16. And I think it's 20. Matthew 16 and 24. And you see right here it says discipline is costly. You see here at the top? Yes. All right, so it says, verse 24, then said Yahweh Shah unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Okay, so you're supposed to take up your cross and deny yourselves. Okay, all right, deny, and that's when you go into denying yourselves, is denying the flesh, denying the fleshly ways. See, when Esau comes down, he's finna set up to bring in this digital system. He's finna persecute, and he's finna try to convert everything into what? The digital system, so ultimately he can incorporate this MOT to the B. Jake is not going to deny them. So they're going to take what's the fleshly desire is, okay? Or the flesh, some things concerning the flesh. Like they did during the time of the Ovid. You know what I'm saying? You had some people saying, yeah, I ain't going to take that. I ain't going to take that. But when they start talking about, well, we're going to end up taking your jobs, what do? They said, hey, man, I got to feed my kids. I got to feed my wife. They didn't trust in the Lord. They trusted in Esau. There's nothing new under the sun. Now they having like you said, the disease X, all these things that are starting to come down the pipe, and you're gonna see that same thing where you're gonna see the same thing happen. The Esau's know how a lot of these people are gonna move, and they're gonna do what? They're gonna take in and give in to the flesh. But the elect is gonna deny themselves and take up the cross. They're gonna continue moving in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? We're going to continue to follow him, even through these hard times. And Lord willing, I'm a part of that number. You know what I'm saying? The men that I'll be out here soldiering with through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Pray that we all are going to endure through these times, these testing times. Okay? Through these testing times. This is back in Matthew 5 and 10. It says, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for there is the kingdom of heaven. Okay, and we might get thrown in. Some of us may get thrown into these internment deals, camps, and things like that. But we got to continue to keep our cross. All right, keep our eyes single, knowing that this is but for a moment. And we're going to receive what? The kingdom of heaven. Like it says, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Verse 11, blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which are before you. So we came after the ones that we see what happened to the prophets before. We see what happened to the disciples, which later became the apostles. All these things that they dealt with. We have to. We nothing new under the sun. We got to take up these things because we haven't probably seen these bad times, which they are bad, but it's only gonna get worse. We're gonna see times where it's gonna be famine, pestilence, and all this within your neighborhood, within your household. All right. And Esau's going to use that to basically take advantage of you. To say this is to basically force you into giving in to his desire, which is what? To cause all rich, poor, small, great, free, and bond to receive that mark in their right hand or in their forehead. As it says, okay, in in Revelations 13:16. Okay. This is all that's coming, okay? I'm going to read that in the NLT in verse 12. It says, be happy about it. Be very glad. For a great reward awaits you in heaven. And remember that the ancient prophets were persecuted in the same way. And who were they persecuted by? Esau. Okay? Through the Roman Empire. And this is Rome 2.0 today. Okay? This is Rome 2.0 today. I was thinking of another scripture. I can't think of it. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. So Matthew 10 and 22. I already been in Matthew 10, but in verse 22, it reads, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. All right, we just read down in verse 34 where, I'm saying the Lord finna call division. Oh, you're going to have your own family members that's going to hate you, and they're going to be like, you brought this upon our household. This brought this upon us. And they're going to look to give you up. That's why we got to be pilgrims in this, and in these days. That's why we got to be circumspect. And we basically can't be just lovers of the family right now. We got to be lover of the brotherhood, lovers of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay? It says, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. Okay? So we got to be enduring to the end. We got to constantly endure. That's what it says in, let's see here. This is Sirach 2. Okay? It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Okay? Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased in the last end. And that's what we're looking for, that spiritual prepping. We got to be spiritually increased, okay? Going from glory to glory, okay? Because we just read about these buildings, these facilities they're buying for millions of dollars. You think they're just buying them up just to sit there and say, we're going to detain a few people and let them in and out? No. And some of us going to be caught up in some of these crossfires. Okay? But we got to be ready to get through these things. We got to be spiritually prepping, going from glory to glory, because the Lord is going to lift up a standard in these times. And I see the standard lifting up now, but it's going to constantly increase. The elect, he's going to constantly increase their spirits. 1 Peter 4 and 12, it says, beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange things happen unto you. But rejoice in as much as ye are partakers of Mashiach's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceedingly joy. Okay? It says, if ye be reproached for the name of Mashiach, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and Yahweh Bashem Yahushua rested upon you. And their part is their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. So they're gonna say said Yahushua, he had the workers of like Beelzebub and all these things. No. So they're gonna look at you in one way, but we know through the spirit the Lord is looking upon us, so we have to rejoice. So what Jake get in this world, like I said, you might be detained in one of these facilities that I was just reading on. Think not as you like these people, other people that's going to be detained. The Lord got a higher standard for us. He has we're looking to be the first fruits of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua going into the new kingdom, all right, New Jerusalem. Okay, as it says about in Revelation 21, I believe. So we have to be ready for that. So with these things that Esau is setting up with these ICE facilities and for $70 million and all that, the Lord got something in store for us. So we have to constantly endure. Even if we are thrown in one of these deals, we still have to be rejoiced. Hey, Men of the Lord back then that followed Yahweh was thrown into prison and different things. All right? And they was taken to the spirit world for what? Having faith and believing in the Lord. But we know in this time we're at the end. So the Lord is going to deliver us from a lot of these things that Esau has been implement. So we have to have faith and be ready for these things, okay? Be ready for the temptation. Be ready for the persecution. Also, be ready to have that standard lifted. So with that, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Waha, Rachak Kodash, Shalom.